Hi friends, welcome to Krishang Talks. How are you all doing friends? I hope you all are doing great. So, in this lesson, we are going to study about the lesson Reproduction in Plants. So let us get into this video. First of all, we need to know about the parts of the plant. So the first part of the plant is the thalamus. The thalamus is like the seat of the plant where the whole plant rests on. So this thalamus is also the base of the plant. The thalamus connects the stalk of the plant, which in turn connects the stem of the plant. The further part of the plant is a calyx. The calyx is a leaf-like structure. Out of the calyx come the sepals. The sepals are the leaf-like structures which protect the plant, which protect the flower in its budding stage. So they enclose the flower in its budding stage, and when it comes out, the sepals go to the bottom of the plant. Then when you go further, you will find the petals. The petals protect the male reproductive part and female reproductive part of the flower. So these petals also attract insects for pollination. These petals also have a distinct smell which the insects like. Okay, so in some flowers, the petals are fused at the bottom. So the part which the petals are fused is called the corolla. So the corolla is also a part of the flower. Then moving on, we have the male reproductive part and the female reproductive part of the flower. First of all, let's look at the male reproductive part of the flower, which is the stamen. So the stamen contains two parts, which is the anther and the filament. The filament connects from the bottom of the plant to the anther, and the anther contains small grains which we can't see directly and which can be observed under a microscope, and these are called pollen grains. They will be helpful in the pollination process. Next up, we have the female reproductive part, and it is called the pistil. So the pistil also has three parts. One is the stigma, style, and ovary. So the stigma is a place where the pollen grain should land on, and the style connects the stigma and the ovary. And the ovary is a place where the fertilization process takes place, and it contains ovules. So these are all the parts of a flower. Now moving on, we have complete flowers and incomplete flowers. Complete flowers are the flowers which contain the four holes, i.e. the petals, sepals, the stamen and the pistil. These are called complete flowers. While the incomplete flowers is the complete opposite. They do not contain each of the four holes of the parts of the flower. Then further on, there are two types of flowers, which are bisexual flowers and unisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers are the flowers in which they have both the male reproductive part and the female reproductive part. Example, the hibiscus and the datura are good examples of the bisexual flower. While coming to the unisexual flowers, these are the flowers which only have one reproductive part. It can be the male or the female. So for example, like bottle gourd, these flowers only have like three holes. So can a unisexual flower be classified into an incomplete flower? Absolutely yes. It can be classified into an incomplete flower as it doesn't have any of the four holes. And a bisexual flower can be classified into a complete flower. So this is all about the parts of the flowers. So the male reproductive part and the female reproductive part are useful in fertilization, which in turn creates a new fruit which contains the seeds. And we all know that seed is a fundamental unit in which all the plants grow from. There are some other plants that don't involve seeds, but we'll discuss about them later in this video. So let's go deep into the male reproductive part of the flower. The anther in the stamen contains some pollen grains. So these pollen grains should go to the stigma of the flower for the new fruit to be created. So this process is called pollination. So the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of that flower itself or to another flower is called as pollination. So in this pollination there are two types, which is a self-pollination and cross-pollination. The self-pollination is in which the anther of the pollen grains which are present in the anther of the same flower go to the stigma of the same flower. So this is called self-pollination. And cross-pollination is simply just when the pollen grains of one flower go to the stigma of another flower. This is called cross-pollination. Now let us see what will happen when the pollen grains go to the stigma. When the pollen grains go to the stigma, so this is the process called fertilization. So in fertilization, when the pollen grain goes to the stigma of the same flower or to another flower, then the pollen grain creates a tube, and the tube goes to the ovary, and then the male parts of the pollen grains goes to the female parts of the pistil in which are in the ovary. So when that male part goes to the female part which is in the ovary, they both combine to form a thing called a zygote. In the zygote, the fruit develops, and in the fruit, the seeds develop. So this is all about the fertilization process. So the other type of reproduction is asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is a reproduction in where the new plant forms without the formation of seeds. So in this asexual reproduction, there are three types, which is the vegetative reproduction. In this, for example, let's take a potato. In the potato, you can see black dot-like structures which are called the eyes of the potato. Cut the eye and put it in soil for a few days. So from the eye, a new potato plant will grow. So this is the vegetative part of the potato from where the new plant grows. So let's take another example. Let's take the bryophyllum plant. So from the bryophyllum plant, when you look at the leaves, you can observe that new bryophyllum plants grow from the edges of the leaves. So this is the vegetative reproduction. So the next part is the spore formation. So when you take a piece of bread and leave it undisturbed for a few days in the air, you can see a black gray-like structures. And when you leave it furthermore for a few days, you can appear black powder-like structures. So these black powder-like structures are the spores. The spores are they are like small things at the top of the spore, on the top of that thing, and it leaves out, and these are called the spores. In the spore formation, that plant is called the bread mold. This bread mold is very dangerous for our health. But what happens in budding is not that dangerous. So let us discuss about budding. So in budding, you have eaten jalebi anytime, right? So in a jalebi, the jalebi maker adds something to the jalebi mixture. So this is a plant called yeast, which is not harmful for us. In fact, it is helpful for us. So this plant is called yeast. This yeast grows with a bud formation, with a bulb-like formation, and this process is called budding. So the yeast plant is there, right? Some bulb-like formation grows from it, and when the bulb-like formation grows big enough, it breaks off from the parent plant and it grows as a new plant. This is called the budding of the yeast plant. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and share to all my videos, and also subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.